Benefit from paying attention to Jehovah. He will guide you to peace and understanding.
Before we begin, please subscribe.
Welcome to Treasures from God's Word. Join us as we explore the riches of the Bible.
Theme: Benefit from paying attention to Jehovah. Imagine driving in an unfamiliar city using GPS. At first you might think, I know where I'm going. But then the GPS says, turn left. You ignore it. A few minutes later, you hit traffic, roadworks, or a dead end. Suddenly, you realize ignoring that voice costs you time, stress, and maybe even safety. Most of us have experienced something like that. We've ignored good advice only to wish we had listened. The lesson is simple. When someone truly knows the way, paying attention benefits us. In a far more important sense, we all have access to the best possible guidance from our Creator. Today's theme is benefit from paying attention to Jehovah. The key thought comes from Isaiah 48:17, where Jehovah describes himself as the one who teaches his people for their benefit and leads them in the way they should walk. So the question for each of us is, am I really paying attention to Jehovah's teaching? And if we do, what benefits can we expect? Let's consider 3 points. Jehovah is the greatest teacher. We must choose to pay attention. Paying attention brings lasting peace and stability. Jehovah is the greatest teacher. Throughout history, people have respected great teachers, those who shape minds and change lives. But no human teacher compares with Jehovah. The Bible presents him as the grand instructor of his servants. Think about how Jehovah teaches. First, he teaches through creation. Look at the natural world, the stars, oceans, animals, and seasons. These teach us that an intelligent, wise creator exists. Even today, scientists continue discovering new things about creation. Yet the more they learn, the clearer it becomes. The universe reflects deep wisdom and order. It's like being in a classroom where the lesson never ends. Second, Jehovah teaches through revelation, through his word, the Bible. In the Bible, he has revealed his name, his qualities, his standards, and his purpose for the earth. It's not just a book of rules, it's a guide for life. It shows us how to deal with problems, how to make decisions, and how to develop qualities that bring happiness. Third, Jehovah teaches through his Spirit. God's Spirit helps us understand his word and apply it. Have you ever read a Bible passage and suddenly felt it speak directly to your situation? That's part of how Jehovah teaches, helping us see how his guidance applies to our lives today. So, Jehovah doesn't leave us guessing. He actively teaches his servants through creation, through the Bible, and through his Spirit. But here's the key point. Being taught is not enough. We must choose to pay attention. We must choose to pay attention. Unlike animals, which act mainly on instinct, humans were created with the ability to choose. We have free will. We can decide whether to listen to God or ignore him. That's why the Bible often uses the language of choice. It encourages us to choose life by listening to God's voice. Jehovah does not force obedience. Instead, he appeals to our heart. He invites us to listen. Isaiah 48:18 expresses Jehovah's feelings beautifully. He says, in effect, if only you would pay attention to my commandments. Notice that wording, if only. It shows longing. Jehovah wants us to benefit. He knows that his guidance leads to peace and safety. But paying attention requires effort. Think about how easy it is to be distracted today. We live in a world full of noise. Social media, news, entertainment, opinions. Everyone has advice. Everyone claims to know the best way to live. So whose voice will we pay attention to? Paying attention to Jehovah means more than just hearing his word. It means listening with the intention to apply what we learn. It means letting his guidance shape
the benefits. Peace like a river. Isaiah 48:18 goes on to describe the results of paying attention to Jehovah. It promises that our peace can become like a river and our righteousness like the waves of the sea. What does that mean? Think about a river. A healthy river flows steadily. It doesn't stop and start. It keeps moving, bringing life wherever it goes. Jehovah promises that if we listen to him, our peace can be like that, steady, abundant, ongoing. The word for peace in the Bible can include ideas like health, safety, friendship, and completeness. So Jehovah isn't just offering the absence of conflict. He's offering a deep sense of well-being and stability. Does that mean life will be problem-free? No. But it means we can have inner calm even when facing challenges. Why? Because we know we're following the best possible guidance. Now think about ocean waves. If you stand on a beach and watch them, they keep coming, wave after wave, day after day. There's a sense of permanence and reliability. Jehovah says our righteousness, our course of doing what's right, can be like that. As long as we keep striving to follow his guidance, we can maintain a steady pattern of right conduct. And he promises that he will sustain us. He won't abandon those who rely on him. That's a powerful assurance. In a world where so much is uncertain, Jehovah offers stability, peace, and direction. So how can we show in very practical, daily ways that we are paying attention to Jehovah's teaching? Let's slow down and think about this carefully. Paying attention is not just about hearing words, it's about letting those words guide our life. Think again about a teacher in a classroom. The student who benefits most is not the one who just sits and listens. It's the one who takes notes, asks questions, reviews the material, and then applies what he learns. In a similar way, we benefit most when we actively engage with Jehovah's instruction. Let's consider several practical ways to do that. Make time for Jehovah's voice every day. If someone important were calling you daily with life-saving advice, you would make time to answer that call. Jehovah speaks to us primarily through his word, the Bible. But in a busy world, it's easy to treat Bible reading as optional rather than essential. Paying attention means scheduling time for Jehovah, not leftover time, intentional time. For example, even 10 or 15 minutes in the morning can set the tone for the day. Reading a passage slowly and thinking about what it teaches about Jehovah can help us feel guided. Asking, "What does this teach me about how to live today?" makes the reading practical. Some people read quickly just to finish a chapter, but paying attention means slowing down. It means asking, "What is Jehovah teaching me here? How can I apply this today?" When we do that, the Bible stops being just a book we read. It becomes a voice we listen to. Pray with the intention to listen, not just speak. Prayer is not a one-way conversation. Yes, we talk to Jehovah, but we also show we are listening by being willing to follow his direction. Before making decisions, big or small, we can pray for guidance. Then, when we read the Bible or hear counsel that aligns with God's principles, we can view it as Jehovah's answer. For example, before choosing friends, ask for wisdom. Before making a major decision about work or goals, ask for guidance. Before reacting in anger, pause and pray. Prayer slows us down. It helps us listen instead of reacting impulsively. It reminds us that Jehovah is not just a distant teacher. He is actively guiding those who seek him. Act quickly on what we learn. Have you ever received good advice but delayed acting on it? Maybe a doctor recommended exercise or a mechanic warned about a car issue. Delaying often makes things worse. The same is true spiritually. When we learn something from Jehovah's word, the sooner we apply it, the more we benefit. For example, if we learn about forgiveness, we can reach out to someone and make peace. If we learn about kindness, we can show it immediately at home or work. If we learn about priorities, we can adjust how we use our time. Each time we act on Jehovah's teaching, we strengthen our habit of paying attention. And each time we ignore it, it becomes easier to ignore the next time. So ask yourself, when I learn something from Jehovah's word, do I act on it quickly? Let's return to the image of the GPS. When it gives directions, it's not trying to control you. It's trying to help you reach your destination safely. In a far greater way, Jehovah's guidance is an expression of love. He sees the whole path ahead. He knows the dangers we can't see and the blessings we can't yet imagine. So when Jehovah says, If only you would pay attention. It's not a command from a distant ruler. It's a loving appeal from a caring father and teacher who wants the best for us. Please subscribe. Thanks.
Benefit from paying attention to Jehovah. He will guide you to peace and understanding.
Then our peace will become like a river, and our righteousness like the waves of the sea.